Hi, welcome to Copenhagen, part 2. I decided to have some lunch and then come back and complete this coaster. So, just checking. Focus is a bit out, I think. A bit better. Hi, Chantel. Decided to come back and do the second half. So I'm doing this without any light above. This is just daylight. I think it helps to give a better view of what it actually looks like. Hi Angie, how's things? When I had the light above, these drills looked really dark and they really showed up the gaps, but without the light on and looking at it just in normal daylight, it looks a lot better. Those gaps aren't so obvious, as you can see. So it just shows the difference depending on the lighting that you're using. So I've decided it does actually look okay after complaining about it in the first part. So I just wanted to get this finished rather than leaving it. Nervous to go live. I want to. That's always the thing about lives, Chantel. You never know. You're probably in a better position than me because you need to think about what time you're going on, what time are people likely to be looking at stuff on YouTube. And I would think generally that would be the evening when people who have been at work have came home, had dinner, and are sitting down to relax. Good, decided to go part-time. Oh, okay. What is part-time? You were doing like mega full-time, Andrew, like every day. So, what sort of schedule have you got now? I just fit these things in when I can fit them in. The same with the actual videos. It's just when it suits me. I don't have a do one a week, two a week, whatever. I don't really want to be tied to it. I don't know why I started doing this. I should have done black since it's the outside. But I've started, so I'll finish. Yeah, Chantel, I mean, you just need to try and think when are people most likely to be on. And I would say evening time. But for me, that turns into like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning. So just doesn't really work for me. So I just go on when I've got time and hopefully somebody drops in. I did have one live where I really did think nobody was going to come in, but it's just how it goes. But I've noticed that some people actually do watch the replays. It was never really what I intended to do with these. Didn't really expect people to look at them, but I have had people commenting on them, so I know that people watch them, even though they don't see them live. But live obviously is the best because if you get nobody coming in, you've got to try and think about what to talk about if you want. I tend to go quiet if nobody's here. And if somebody says hi, start talking to them. Not everybody's chatty. A lot of people just watch, which is fine. It's up to them. But it definitely makes a big difference if you get people talking. And again, it depends. I mean, it's a bit different, I suppose, if you're going to be promoting your Etsy store. But again, that is something that you can talk about, even if nobody is there, because people will watch the replay, and whatever you say, they'll hear it when they watch the replay. Not uploading every day anymore. I'm just recording and uploading when. Yeah, that's the best way, Angie. I think you just end up burning yourself out. I mean, to do a video every day is hard. But I think when you do that and you sort of commit yourself and you're thinking, right, I'm going to do a video every day, you sort of commit yourself to it. And then you've got the real world going on, and you also just need time, like a break away from YouTube. So that's why I don't really have any set anything. And as I said, for me, the ideal time for me to go on would be probably about 3 o'clock in the morning. And that's not going to happen because we've got people sleeping. They don't want to listen to me yittering away on YouTube at 3 o'clock in the morning. So that's not going to happen. That drill's convex. First time I've heard that. So, I don't know. To me, it's still a showcase. I mean, people will see it, and all you do. I mean, if you've got stuff that you want to show people, then you've got that to talk about. I mean, how many people come in? I've no idea. I mean, it's like, well, like I said, any time I go on, I'm never sure if anybody's going to turn up. And you get times where people come in, but they just sit and they don't talk. And then if you start thinking about that, then you can start just waffling about anything, hoping somebody's going to join in, or you go quiet and wait until somebody actually says something. I mean, everybody's different how they work these things. But if you're talking about your stuff, I mean, you're going to be talking anyway, showing what you're making and just talking about them. It's just getting to know people at the beginning, I think, is the hard part, when you're totally new. But I mean, you're in well, you're in here, and I know a lot of people know you from like going into groups or going into lives. If you comment in a live, people begin to recognize your name, and then they might, out of curiosity, go and look. I mean, what you don't want to do is go into a live and start basically advertising. That's one way to irritate people, because if you're doing a live and everybody's just coming in saying, "Look at my website and look at this and look at that," it's like, well, why am I even doing this? But if you join in the conversations and have a bit of fun, people get to know you, and then occasionally you can mention things. I mean, I don't mind you mention stuff, and the same with Angie. I mean, I don't mind, but I wouldn't want somebody that I don't know coming in and just starting to talk about their stuff all the time and taking over the chat. And nobody likes that. If you want to really promote your stuff, get your own channel. That's him done. And it just depends how confident you feel, Chantel, to talk about your stuff. I don't think you'd have any problems talking about it. It's obviously something that you really enjoy doing. It gives you a chance for people to talk to you live rather than email or messaging or whatever. I mean, you've got to start somewhere. I would say just go for it. Just stick that camera on and just try it. Yeah, that's true, Angie. But you definitely feel more alone if if nobody joins in at all. You begin to wonder, should I even bother doing this? But as I said, people watch the replays, and people who are interested in cover minders will watch it if they can find it. That's the thing. It's trying to get the word out without like blatantly like spamming places. I mean, obviously you can post up in the on my Facebook group. And again, I don't mind people doing it as long as it's just once in a while, not like every day, like somebody's promoting whatever they're promoting every day. Once in a while, no problem. I mean, I don't know who you know, Chantel. I mean, I know that Angie knows a lot of people. And again, because you're in the States, it's a lot easier to catch people live when they do their lives. Mrs. Coffee, she goes live at, what is it? Like, I forget the time it is that she posts up, but that's 4 o'clock in the morning for me. So it's not the most convenient time. I can't remember what time she has, 9 or 9 to 10:30 or something like that. I can't remember. The thing is, Chantel, I mean, if you can type in chats, I mean, you come in here a lot when I'm on, and you know Angie and Laura, and I mean, I think you know all the regulars, and you'll know a lot more people than me. Um, you don't have any problem chatting away in here, typing, so I don't think you would have any problem. And you're talking about stuff you're making, like you're the expert on the subject, and people will ask questions, but you know the answers. I don't think you'd have a problem. I mean, I get it. It's been nervous, like going live and stuff, but you'll find it, I think, very quickly. You'll settle in. I mean, when you go live, you'll obviously be talking about like who you are, what you do, showing some examples of what you do. It normally takes a bit of time for people to come in, so you need to sort of fill that gap, and that would be pretty easy. Just have some cover minders ready and just talk a little bit about how you got into it, how you started it, why you started it, and what you do, and then start just showing examples. Yeah, I mean that's it. You've got to just go for it. I think if you think about it too long as well, you build up a block. Like you start to get nervous, and you overthink. Maybe you start thinking, well, what if I say something wrong? What if I forget what I'm talking about? I forget what I'm talking about all the time, and I don't think I don't mind. I can be talking about one thing, and then somebody will ask a question when I eventually notice it, and I go off to what they were talking about, and then I've forgotten what I was talking about. I do it all the time. But the thing is, when you're answering a question or talking about a subject that somebody's asked, you're talking about something they want to know about rather than talking about what you think they want to know about. That's the difference. I think it's good to get people coming in and they talk, whether you're talking about the weather, food, medical care, whatever, anything. There's a subject there, and then people talk about it, and that just naturally develops into a different subject, into a different subject, and people like that. I mean, it's like I come in, I'm diamond painting, but how many times have I done lives and never even mentioned diamond painting? It happens a lot. And a lot of times they can actually be the best lives because they're the funniest or they're the most interesting because we're talking about something that people are like chipping in and talking about their experiences of things. Um, so many times I've done lives and ended up talking about things that I never thought I'd be talking about. But that's what makes them interesting, and everyone's different. Instead of just being, oh, Chantel's on, she's just going to talk about cover minders for an hour. Every hour, well, every video, she's going to talk about cover minders for an hour. That's going to be hard because people will be like, they want to see the cover minders, they're interested. But I think getting to know you a bit helps. Like getting to know people is the thing. We're all different and we're all curious about each other, where you are in the world, just different things. Where you've been in the world, where was your favourite holiday, anything. People are curious by nature. So that stuff can all get mixed in, just rather than just being focused on cover minder, cover minder, cover minder. But again, that's just my opinion, my view. That's why I don't have a set. I'm not just sitting here talking about diamond painting, diamond painting, diamond painting, diamond painting. Even though I could, and I like diamond painting a lot. I'm quite happy to talk about pretty much anything. Hi, Carly. Welcome back. I'm back. I had some lunch and then I decided to finish this today. And I switched the overhead light off because it wasn't giving a good view of these drills. They're a lot lighter than they looked. And you can see the gaps we were talking about. They're still there, or the ones when I finished. They're still there, but they're nowhere near as noticeable. How did you connect your channel? What do you mean? Connect what, where? How did I create the channel? Or how did I network the channel? I don't know. I'm not sure what you mean. Oh, can't find you. Right, I'm reading it backwards. Can't find you on YouTube. Yeah, do you actually have a YouTube channel? We had this problem when Angie started. Remember Angie? She set up a channel and then we found out you have to wait 24 hours before it goes live. And she was going, no, it was a live, sorry, the first live, remember? So when you're going to do a live, you have to set it up. I think it's at least 24 hours in advance. Carly found her channel. Hi, Katrina. Thanks for dropping in. I'm working on a coaster with some dodgy drills. I think I've hit the section where all the rejects landed. Give it a bit of a shake, I think. How are you, Katrina? How is life treating you? I mean, that's the thing, show and tell. Just asking that when somebody comes into a channel and you just ask them how they are, what they've been up to, whatever, you never know what they're going to say. They could say their dog died this morning, or they got a pay rise yesterday, and just however somebody answers that. I mean, most people say, "Yeah, I'm fine, doing okay," But every now and again, you'll get somebody saying something that you're not expecting, and then that starts a conversation. Like, my dog died, and it's like, oh, that's a shame. Yeah, I've had dogs, and then the conversation goes away into dogs, and we're doing diamond painting. Okay, the people that have cats are not interested in the dog stories, but a lot of people are. In general, animals are a big thing. People are interested in animals and pets and things. And then that can turn into another conversation where somebody comes in and says nobody should keep pets. It's cruel. And I've been in a situation where I was doing a public talk about exotic animals, and that is pretty much what somebody stood up and said in the middle of the talk in front of 50 people. So that turned into a talk that I wasn't quite expecting. First and last heckler I had in 16 years of doing public talks. And that was at a zoo. With the zookeepers watching me, because they were looking for tips on how to do public talks about exotic animals. So that turned into an interesting evening. Logbook. I've got Gems Flow, and that is it. That is as far as my logbook extends. And I haven't even I've noticed some of the diamond paintings I've got aren't in Gems Flow. I've just forgot to put them in. So my numbers are wrong. Angie's on project number 25. 25. I still haven't finished the hoverfly. Okay, I'm going to read what Carly's talking about. Dazzle Diamond Dreams, that's right. But sometimes, okay, I'm not reading that right, Helen. But sometimes there have to be someone like who look after pets. Yeah, I used to do volunteer work at the SSPCA in Balerno in Scotland, and I dealt a lot with everything. I mean, everything from goldfish to chickens to goats to horses and dogs and cats and tortoises and rabbits and hamsters and ferrets and spiders, snakes, frogs, everything. We also got neglected animals, which can be pretty tough to deal with them. And then you find out that not everybody looks after their pets. And then you get pets that come in because it was an old person that owned them and the old person died. And suddenly you've got a 10-year-old dog who's lost his main companion and is really stressed out because he doesn't have a clue what's happening. Suddenly he's in a cage. You have to deal with that as well. It's pretty hard. Hi, Lisa. Long time no see. Okay, I'm going to give in, put wax in this thing. Zoo animals, that's a big debatable subject. Should they keep animals in zoos? What good do they actually do? Edinburgh Zoo stopped keeping elephants years ago because they decided it wasn't fair on elephants. So what they did was they put up just a big statue of an elephant, and they stopped. They stopped with the elephants. The thing is, I don't know where the elephants went. I've been to Copenhagen Zoo. They've got elephants. They've got a baby elephant. An elephant was born at the zoo. They've got pandas that they've got on loan from Japan, and the idea is to breed them. But in the real world, in the big picture, does one baby panda suddenly save the species? Should they be looking at where the pandas live in the wild and trying to fix that, rather than keeping the pandas in a zoo? It can be a very, very touchy subject. But again, having animals in a safari, is that really helping save the animals? Wouldn't it be better if they were in their wild location and things were done so the conditions were right and they could just live naturally? They wouldn't have electric fences keeping them in and people driving by in cars staring at them. Depends how you look at things. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Talking about pandas, did you see my 18 by 18 diamond painting? What is wrong with these things? Yeah. I still like that video of the baby panda that sneezed and the mother panda nearly had a heart attack. In Belgium, we have pandas from, maybe it's China. I don't know. I can't remember now. I don't know why I was thinking it was Japan. Yeah, they did that at Copenhagen as well. They built an enclosure specifically for them. It cost an absolute fortune. When you looked at it from above, like if you have a drone or a helicopter, like you can't see it when you're there, but if you looked at it from above, the enclosure is the yin yang symbol. And they had the same thing. They had people came over. Now it could have been China. I'm still thinking Japan, but I don't know why. They came over. The experts came over. The people that looked after. No, in fact, they sent people from Copenhagen to the zoo where they were, and then the experts came over and checked the enclosure and checked everything about them, what they were going to feed them, how they were going to feed them, how the logistics of getting the food, where the food was sourced, medication, everything. It was a big, big thing. But they're hoping to breed them, so we'll see. And they're on loan for something like 20 years or something. All right, okay. No knew that. I mean, I've spoke about this before with Copenhagen Zoo. They got into hot water a few years ago with a giraffe, a young male giraffe that they had bred, and they decided that they didn't want it because of the genetics. They didn't want the giraffes inbreeding or anything like that. Various places offered to take. I can't remember. He had a name, but I can't remember. Various places offered to take it and look after it, but the zoo decided not to do that, and they actually euthanized the giraffe. And there were some school kids at the zoo. They dissected the giraffe in front of the school kids and showed them the internal organs and things. And then they dissected parts of the giraffe's carcass and fed it to the lions and various other animals. And they did all this in front of kids and people at the zoo, like visitors to the zoo. It didn't go down too well. Okay, next colour. Yeah, I mean, if you search the internet for Copenhagen Zoo giraffe, that would be enough probably. You'll get the full story there. But I worked for the Copenhagen Post newspaper at that time, and we were getting phone calls from all over the world asking about it. It was educational, Carly. That was the reason given. They decided to get some educational use out of it before they fed the bits to the lions and other animals. And I remember on Facebook, Axl Rose from Guns N' Roses, he commented about it. Yeah, they didn't euthanize it in front of the kids, but they dissected it in front of the kids. And I don't know how they euthanized it, because I would think they wouldn't have injected it because, well, I don't know. But I'm thinking if you inject something into it, anything that eats it is going to be getting that. So I don't know. Maybe it was something that wouldn't affect any animals. Can't remember. It might be in the article if you look it up. That was the big argument, Lisa. There were safari parks offering. There were private people who own private zoos and stuff. They were offering. People were even saying it was because the young giraffe was coming up to sexual maturity, and they didn't want them breeding with any of the giraffes. So people offered, and they even said, like, you can castrate them. Like, we wouldn't want them for breeding, we would just want them, like, to have a giraffe. So we'd be happy to take them castrated, but the zoo decided not to do it. Yeah, he's got a spy cam somewhere, Carly. He's watching those two screens. But this is what I was talking about, Chantel. Like, when you're doing a live, it doesn't always have to be about diamond painting or cover minders or whatever. And I like the way this happens. I like the way that conversations just happen, because it makes it interesting for me. It's I'm not thinking, right, okay, I'm going to be on for about an hour. Well, I think mine tend to be maybe an hour and a half-ish. Depends. It's been longer. But I'm not going on for an hour and a half just talk about diamond painting for an hour and a half every time I go on. I mean, there have been times where we have spoke about diamond painting the whole time because we're talking about just different things. But then other things happen. Like Lisa gets her finger trapped in the door when she's taking the dog for a walk and breaks her finger. And that became obviously a conversation. And I don't know. I just find it interesting that I don't really know exactly I don't know who's coming in. I don't know if anybody's going to talk. I don't know what they're going to say. I don't know what they're going to talk about. I find that interesting. I don't find it like scary. It's and as I said, if nobody talks, it just goes quiet, and that's just how it is. And people come in and just sit and look and go, "He's boring," and just leave. But it's kind of hard to not be boring when nobody's talking to you. It's very difficult to have a one-way conversation with people you can't see. Ah, Lisa, what's wrong, or what was wrong with your throat? And then we had Laura went jet skiing and got a concussion. No, yeah, she got a concussion and broke her jaw. Okay. So what did they do? They took the lumps out to test them? Is that is that what's happening? Yeah, biopsy. Okay. I'm sure she told me her jaw was wired. I'm going to look back my messenger. Laura, that attention seeker. Oof, that doesn't sound nice. So when was that, Lisa? Last Thursday. So how does it feel now? And how long before you get results? I'm still getting used to the fact that these things aren't in straight rows. I suppose that's the difference between a diamond painting and some special drills. I've already squeezed in 2 drills that weren't meant to be there to try and even things up. Oh, that's a bad one. Still raw. Oof, doesn't sound nice. Well, I hope everything goes well. It's going to be a long wait, 3 weeks. That's quite a long time. And did you actually notice them? Like, were you having any problems with your throat? Or is it just something that he just happened to find? Yeah. Did they say how long it would be painful for? Yeah, I remember you said, Lisa. So was this just a sort of routine checkup? 2 weeks. That's a long time. You would think in these days that they could give you something that would just numb it. Tammy's ex-mother-in-law, she found a lump in her breast and never told anybody for over a year. And it was Tammy she actually, I mean, this was a long time ago. It was Tammy that she actually told. And she said, "Yeah, I've got this lump." And first thing Tammy said was, "How long have you had it?" And she was like, "Oh, a year." So Tammy talked her into going to get checked. And it was cancer, but because she had waited a year, there wasn't anything they can do, and she died of breast cancer. It's always better to get things checked. Was it the saying adverts don't die of embarrassment? Ah, I hate those endoscopes. I've had three or four endoscopies. Absolutely hate getting that done. Well, hopefully everything goes okay, Lisa. So they were actually in your esophagus. Hi, Michelle. Thanks for dropping in. Yeah, you've got to stay positive, Lisa. I mean, as I said, hopefully everything is okay. I mean, the thing is that they found it, so hopefully that's a good thing. The earlier they find these things, the better. Hi, Kitty. Just noticed you came in. Welcome back to part 2. I decided to switch the overhead light off because it was giving a bad image of this. The middle section was looking a lot darker than it really is. So it doesn't look as bad as it did. It's dragging slow. I can get shoes on now, but my toe is just constantly numb, and they said it's just because the nerves in the joint, and because the joint's still being aggravated, the nerves are making it feel as if my toe's numb. So I'm still taking medication. They said it will eventually go, but it's everybody's different. They can't say how long it'll take, but I can get about and everything now. So it's just annoying that it's numb, but it's not painful. I gave up trying to do checkerboard with this because they're all over the place. They're not in straight lines. Excuse me. What kind of cancer was it you had, Helen? I can't remember. Oh, bowel cancer. Yeah, that doesn't sound like fun, having to get operations. And how did they find that? Was it because you were having like irritable bowel sort of stuff, like problems? I mean, sometimes they find it purely by accident. And that happened to my dad's brother. He went in, I forget what it was for. Can't remember. They went in to check something, and when they were doing the operation, they found out that he had cancer in his kidney, and they operated there and then, and he was okay after it. And that was just pure luck that they found that because he never had any symptoms. Yeah, it does look better, Kitty, doesn't it? It's a lot. You don't notice the background as much. That was if I put the light on again, just let people see what was happening before because it didn't look good. So when I put the light over it, so they go dark. It looks like that, and the gaps all show up. You can really see them. But if I switch the light off, it looks fine. Angie, did you tell Jim your awesome news? Awesome news. You won the lottery and you're buying me the Diamond Art Club backlog. Okay, you're going to have to tell me now. Oh, this exact one. Oh, cool. What coincidence that is. Yeah, I like it. I think it's really cool. They're nice and heavy. I was saying that earlier in the first part. Like they're not like just like cork or something. They're actually like a tile, and then they've got the cork on the back to stop you scratching stuff. I like it. I like it now in the proper light. That light was putting me off because these were all showing up as dark brown, and these gaps were standing out really bad. But looks fine now. Hang on, just catching up. Just reading Helen's one. My dad died. I was in pain. They x-rayed me. You could not see it until they scanned me, and I had a lump size of a grapefruit. I was not eating. No, okay. Yeah, my dad, he died of cancer as well. He had cancer of the esophagus. Never told anybody he was having problems until he really had to. He was having a lot of problems with heartburn. Never told anybody for years. And then he started to have problems where he couldn't swallow food. And that's when I ended up going to the hospital for a check. And they found out he had cancer of the esophagus. So he ended up getting an operation. And like you, Helen, his tumour was the size of a grapefruit. They weren't expecting that. And the surgeon actually had to call somebody else into theatre to help him lift it out. But they didn't manage to get all the cancer. There was some on a major vein, and they said they couldn't touch it. If they cut the vein, he would have died on the table. So he recovered. I mean, he was living alone. He was doing his own shopping and his own drive. I mean, he was driving his car and everything. And he lived alone and got on with things for 4 years before finally the cancer won. So yeah, I mean, I think everybody knows somebody that's had some kind of cancer. Never really used to hear about it years ago. But then years ago, if you mentioned the word breast cancer, it was basically you were dead. I mean, they have made improvements in the treatment, but there's so many. I know someone else who got eye cancer, which was a new one. I'd never heard of that before. She had to get her eye removed, but she's doing fine now. Okay, finally some good news. A diamond painting company has donated another canvas to me for my event. Awesome. Plus, they are currently charting an image specifically for the event that people can purchase. That's really cool, Angie. Well done. So can I ask what the company is, or is it a secret? Yeah, my plans, what I'm doing next, keep changing. I think I'm going to have to go straight to Halloween one. But I think I need to look at it again, but I'm sure there's pink in it, so it sort of covers two things at the same time. Because it's pretty big and it's 90 colours, it's going to take a lot of work. It's another custom. Yeah, I don't know why you would think there'd be a lot of pink in it, Carly. You don't know what the image is. So you won't know what it is until you see it. So I'll get this finished today and get it sealed. Then I can use it for my coffee. Maybe October. That was what we spoke about when we decided we were going to have a break during the summer. We were thinking, okay, it starts getting dark and dreary outside again. October. Yep, I will do, Lisa. So I'll get this one finished, and then I'm going to do the cheeky panda, as I called it. An 18 by 18. Special drills. Yeah, and yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm getting so close to finishing this. I need help deciding which chuck pinson I'm doing for the upcoming chuck along. Well, I wouldn't have any problem because I don't have any. I don't have any chuck pinson. Final colour. Well, I squeezed 2 extra drills into this to fill a couple of gaps that I felt were just too big. That's the second time that black one's come out. I'll change it. Maybe something wrong with the drill. Just checking everything's flat. It's kind of hard to tell with these ones because they kind of look like glass. It's hard to see if anything's sticking up. It seems fine. 95%. How many have you done, Lisa? Oops. Done one. Too many. Yeah, I'm the same. It's if I was just doing events all the time, I'd never be doing anything that I wanted to do myself. So we did the was it Drills and Chills or whatever it's called, the Halloween one. We did that last year, and then Angie said she was having an event which is going to be the same sort of time. So I'm thinking if I can have pink in that, I can sort of combine the two because it's another custom. And I think it's actually bigger than the hoverfly. Should be finished the hoverfly this coming weekend, I think. And then I'll be setting up for the Halloween one. The Overfly's got 8 to 9 colours, and the Halloween one's got 90. See Crystal Lake Cabin? Yep, I did. Wait a minute. Did a Crystal Lake Cabin? Is that one that's like mountains and stuff in the background? I think I saw it. It's just I can't remember. I look at so many pictures. Just being honest. It was like purplish and stuff in the background. Is that the right one? Trees. Finito. Don't feel any sticking up. Yeah, send me a pic, Lisa. That'd be the best way. I skim through so many things, I can never remember who did what. So that's it. Thanks, Lisa. Oh, that isn't the one I was thinking about. Yeah, I did see the picture of it, but it isn't the one that I was thinking of. This is Lisa's. It's pretty cool. I like that. I like the reflection in the water. It's really cool. Nice. Oh, it's not showing up that good, is it? It's not as white as that. These cameras. It's because it's backlit. It always does that. Try it at an angle. You can see if I do that, it's green, the frame. But if I do that, it looks white. Yeah, it works well. It is nice. Green ties in with the vegetation and the trees in the background. A lot of detail on that as well. Yep, I like that. It's nice. Right, so the coffee is done. Just to seal it. Because of the way the light hits them, every now and again I keep thinking they're popping up, but they're not. The coaster, yesfinal.com. They have 12 different designs, and I can't remember them. One was like a tiger, like a tiger's face, sort of cartoony type thing. I think maybe a unicorn. Hello Kitty was one. This was the only manly one. Just coffee. Give me coffee. The rest of them are brightly coloured. They're not as sort of muted as this one. On my last sleeve of the Fashion Lady. Cool. So, yeah, that was it. I just wanted to finish this today. Because the next one I'm going to do is the Cheeky Panda. No, it's not manly. So this is my next one. I saw this and I thought, that's different. I think it's just funny how an X strategically placed makes a complete change to the picture. Christmas tree mobile would not glue. I have bits. So I emailed them. I told them what happened. I also told them that I still uploaded the video because I like the reviews I do to be as honest as possible. I didn't want to wait until they sent a complete one and just forget that one was broken. So I uploaded that video. I'll take it you've seen it. So they've said they'll send another one. So we'll see if the second one is okay. So I'll do a video of that as well, but obviously it'll be shorter because I'm not going to go through everything again, but I just want people to see that you can get them complete. Hopefully it is complete. That's, I would say it is looking over its shoulder. Wouldn't you? Yeah, I mean, I said to them, Helen, it's up to you if you want to send me another one. Basically, all I do is reviews for companies, and I'm just straight up with what I find. And I mean, I feel that when you do a review, it's kind of hard to, well, especially something like that, when it's broken, it's broken. You can't pretend it's not. I suppose what I could have done was contacted them, said, that one's broken, can you send me another one? And then do a review of a complete one. But that isn't the way that I work. It was broken, so I showed it. The thing was, the box wasn't damaged. So I think it's just because the plastic is so, like the, not the thickness of it, but the width of it is so thin that any kind of bang on it is going to break the plastic. The actual characters, if I can find them, where did I put them? The characters are a lot thicker. Yeah, that's why I called it the cheeky panda. When I did the unboxing, I said, like, it just appeals to my sense of humour. I couldn't help thinking about it being somebody's birthday or somebody's leaving do. You could do that, Carly. I'm sure there's somebody in the office you would love to send this to. Complete it, wrap it up, put it in a little frame, wrap it up, and give it to someone at a party, like in front of people, and then watch their face and record it when they open it and see what you've gave them. Because I don't know how they would interpret that. I mean, at first they're going to see a cute panda, and then they're going to, because that's what I did when I saw it on the website. I took a second take, and then I just thought, that is so funny, I'm getting that. So I did say in the video, if anybody does do it and give it as a gift and records the video, please send a copy to me and I'll show it on YouTube. To me, it's a perfect TikTok. So yeah, going back to the Santa one, the one that was broken. This is one of the pieces that hangs off a chain from the tree. So we've got like a little gingerbread man and a candy cane and a star. I think these are going to look really cool when they're done, but I'm not going to do them until I get the actual frame again. Hopefully I get them done in time for Christmas. But the next one that I'm going to do in a live is going to be this one. Nah, I don't see that. I see it as facing down, got its head looking over its shoulder, and that's its tail. There you go. Now it's family friendly. Do pandas have a visible belly button? I don't know either. I don't know. I think it's one of these things, once seen, never forgotten. To me, yeah, that isn't a belly button. Anyway, I suppose I shouldn't leave that at the end. Go back to normality. So that's it for the second time today. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a good day. Thanks for the conversation. It's always interesting. And Callie's saying, since pandas are mammals, they have a belly button. But is it visible? And on that note, take care, be safe, and wash your hands.